Yo, we back at it with another episode of the Bars Podcast with Lord Rab and Brownie Blends. This is about to be another fire episode. I'm Lord Rab.
I'm Brownie Blends.
And today we got some more bars for y'all. Blends, how you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing amazing, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a good mild day out here in the city. You know what I'm saying? How you feel, man?
I feel great, man. It's another football Sunday.
Right.
Right. My Raiders is trash. I'm sitting here trying to I don't know if I got anything left. And when I say I don't know, Rap, when I say I don't know if I have anything left, I say this with all sincerity, bro. And I ask myself, what other product in the world, what other business can deliver a terrible product for 20 years and you still support it? Can you name a restaurant that you've been to?
Nah.
No. Can you name a restaurant that you've been to that has gave you horrible service for 20 years that you still support it?
No, because a restaurant only got like 3 times to fuck you over in the summer.
So when I look at this Raider shit, the loyalty and the understanding and the expectations and every year, the excitement. We talk about the draft, bad draft after bad draft, Rap. Like, nothing seems to work. Nothing seems to.
So you just gonna get Draymond all this satisfaction, bro, right now?
Man, listen. Listen.
You really gonna do that?
Draymond,
Man, we got to talk about the future.
Draymond is a fan of one of our rivals. The history of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders goes back.
Well, they fake Raiders
to the 70s, huh?
They fake Raiders.
I feel like the Steelers wanted to be us.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
They wanted our toughness.
They wanted
our
grit.
bravado. They wanted our grit.
And that's a fact.
Like, you know the old Raiders, bro. We used to get off the bus. We used to win games when we pulled up to the arenas. We was in the opposing team's head once we got off the bus. That was the Raiders.
That's a fact.
This shit we got going on now, I don't know what this is, bro. I don't know. I don't understand it. The brand is actually pretty dope. The brand has. You go anywhere in the world, you mention silver and black, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
I don't know what's happening, and I don't understand how we still, the diehard Raider fan, I feel like I finally have liberated myself from like a week of trauma after we lose. Like, it took a minute for me to get here, but I feel like I'm finally here where I can okay, I can get up Monday morning after an L and I can go about my business normally. It wasn't always like this, but what other business can you go to a steakhouse that gave you 20 years of bad service?
Never.
Where can you go other than the NFL that gives you 20? I'm gonna be devil's. I play devil's advocate. I feel like the NFL coined the frame, the diehard fan.
Yeah, they did. They did.
In a way to keep you supporting this bullshit, win or lose.
So is the NFL script real?
I don't think the NFL is scripted because there's too many moving parts for it to be scripted. I don't think that, and I think integrity be everything. I don't think it's scripted, but I do think that from a business, I think it's great for business if you can create this phrase called the diehard fan to guilt people into no matter what product we put out there, you have to support us. That's what I think the NFL is.
Right.
Only 2 teams win the Super Bowl
every year.
And so now it sounds like it's a thing to be like, you have people like, oh, we made the playoffs. So now that's a thing.
I hate that. I always
We had a winning season. That's at the end of it all, Rap, if you didn't win the Super Bowl, there's no second place trophy.
There's no second place. Although I could see extending your season and business wise, it being revenue, the revenue part of it. You know, I could see it working that way for the franchises, but they need the fans. So what you're saying is they selling the story to the fans.
And all that competitive shit do, they competitive. So all the competitive shit do, being competitive, it makes you get ready for next year. Spend your money. Get your season tickets. They
so let me let you know when I really just came to that realization. Like, you know how baseball got spring training, or you go into training camp. When the practice shit became for fans, like they sell when spring training is happening, they sell the spring training hat, which is
Right.
of course different than
Right.
the in season on field hat,
Right.
or preseason jerseys, G League
Right.
jerseys, whatever you think about. Like, it's always a
Hey,
subsidiary of something else. So it's like sell, 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 sell.
Brad, they found a way. They found a way to make the average fan feel like they are involved in off-season acquisitions and shit. Like they found a way. It's brilliant. They found a way to make the average fan feel like they're a GM.
That's
and
crazy.
So they involve you. You ever look on? You got Facebook?
Yeah.
Because you're in that demographic. For some reason, I feel like you got to be between the ages 40 and 60.
I don't fuck with it though.
You don't fuck with it?
Nah.
You on there somewhere.
We could go. We could talk about that after you finish your point. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't fuck with Facebook. But you can go.
Bro, look, Facebook, the NFL, and I think all pro sports now hasn't figured out a way. They like, whoa, okay, we sell tickets, we get them to watch the game, but we didn't know that we could actually monetize the off season. So what we do is now you have people on Facebook talking about, this person should get, he's on a 2-year deal. He's making $30 million. He should do this, and then we got they got people. They got the average fan dealing in like business agent type off-season transactions and moves, things that we have no control over and we shouldn't even care about. But
give credit to EA Sports for Madden. That's one thing, right? Every game has franchise mode.
So they added that
where you
to
think you're the front office, right? and then also fantasy,
right?
Like, have you heard fantasy people that participate in really fucking with fantasy football? Like, man, they think they GMs,
bro. I'm literally so I feel what you're saying. And I'm starting to see the psychology of this shit. People don't even see it. It's like the Tyson and Jake Paul fight.
Mm-hmm.
I literally said, I posted something and I said, damn, Tyson 58 years old. They could sell us anything.
That's a fact.
And then people was like, it was free. I said, bro, you pay for Netflix. That's $14. I said, well, that was 3 hours of your time. How much is that worth to you? You can't get that back. And we don't realize how, even though we only pay $14.99 or whatever it is for Netflix, in order for us to like be able to be at our home at that hour, at that time, to click on that, they had to sell it to us. And they do an awesome job of selling shit.
Does that fight? Of course, that's the main event, and that's what everybody came there for. But there was a great women's fight. What's her name? Ken, you remember the girl's name? Serrano was one of them.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Serrano and Katie Taylor.
And she was super bloody.
I'm not even a fan of female boxing, but that fight was fucking amazing.
I didn't see the fight. I didn't watch the fight. I was out. Me and V was in back smoking cigars and shit.
That fight was fucking.
But I saw the way she looked. When I came back, I said, damn, this must have been one hell of a fight.
Fight was phenomenal. She got robbed, but the fight was fucking phenomenal. I'm talking about head to head, blow for blow, like the bloodiest of the bloodiest shit you want to see in boxing, except as females. For me, it's like, I don't like it. But what are we really buying right now? Where is boxing going? Because in my opinion, it's like, I heard Javante Davis have a gripe with it and said, like, like basically you a sucker. You a clown. You a goofy to Jake Paul. Jake Paul is like, is he though, or is he a genius businessman? I think he's cosplaying. I think he's getting the best, right? I think he's sitting up there with a belt. He's talking like a boxer. He's doing everything a boxer does, but he's not fighting his peers in boxing.
I think you have to. I think only thing we can look at it as is a fan of the sport. If you're a fan of boxing, or you're somebody that tuned in to that fight, I think you have to look at it like you have to chalk it up as entertainment. It's anything else. If I go to an amusement park and I'm gonna ride the roller coaster,
right?
If I'm gonna go to the movie theater, I'm gonna watch it. You literally, if you look at it as anything other than entertainment, you lost.
That's a fact,
right? And so I think there's a little bit of delusion in there though, Because we are delusional if we literally think that Mike Tyson at 50 years old is finna put on
58, so that's closer to 60,
58 is finna put on a Mike Tyson that we know of type of performance against a 27-year-old Jake Paul, who was a YouTuber from what I understand, right? So we are delusional in a sense to think that if you look at the announcers during that fight, during the bout, everybody was all in mode. They were like talking about this like we were actually like this is actually a real fight.
But do you think they was in on it or they was fooled? Because Jake Paul, I think he has this way of like convincing. Because I don't know if you saw it, but the interview Mike had with one of my favorite journalists is a young girl named Jazzy, right? Little kid. I mean, she's not a little kid, right? She's probably almost 18.
I've seen that.
And he said, like, damn near fuck legacy, right? So when they were saying this is going on a permanent record, right? This is what Jake Paul is feeding everybody. This is on your permanent record. How many ever round? 8 rounds, 2 minutes. And you start to fall into the shit like, oh, maybe this could be a real thing, right? But when Mike said that fuck legacy shit, it kind of made me feel like, okay, now I know it's wrestling. Because why would any boxer, like, that's what we fight for. We fight for record.
But I actually thought that, but you fight to, and they continue to monetize that legacy, that record. But when I heard Mike say, it's crazy because sometimes somebody else can like open up some shit that you always thought, but were afraid to say or you wouldn't say because you like, why would I say that, right? I always thought that. I always be like, damn, when you check out of here, you checked out of here.
Well, I think that about other things, but I feel you. I do feel you. I feel you.
I've seen people like leave inheritances to their grandkids.
Yeah, that's where I was about to go with it.
And then they blow that shit.
So that's where I was about to go with it. As this generation of black people our age, I feel like we saw the people selling grandma house firsthand. Like we saw the people selling auntie house, uncle house, or whatever that wasn't be sold and blow the money. Right. The thing about that is when it comes to like history and sports and like monumental feats, I don't like to tarnish them. Now, who am I to say Mike Tyson don't need $20 million to say fuck a loss? Right? Mike Tyson's not even undefeated.
No. I kind of see where you're going with this, but I think what he was talking about was it matters who it matters to. Legacy does not matter to the person that's creating the legacy.
But the moment we stop fighting for legacy, I feel like is the moment that we stop competing. Right? There's no Steph Curry being the greatest shooter of all time, right?
No, I think you're looking at that. I think you're looking at that wrong, right? Because where I sit right now, I wish my grandmother would have dedicated more of her energy to focusing on living her life than to be worried about what me and my sisters were gonna do after she was gone. Mm-hmm. I wish she would have lived her life to the best of her capacity.
No, and that's what I was trying to separate. I was trying to separate living life and necessities versus like monumental feats, whether it's sports or other situations, right? Because I think it's the same and different at the same time. I think like when we clock somebody's record, when we clock Usain Bolt's record, like that's a record to be broken, right? But then if Usain Bolt runs against Noah, right, at this age, it's like, is that really fair or is it not? You be like, he beat Usain Bolt, not prime Usain Bolt. He didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? So now you have to fight against the record.
Right, but I think what Mike was saying was at the end of the day got to end. So I think what Mike Tyson was saying at the end of the day, what the fuck does it matter? Right.
Well, like, okay, so would you say an enormous feat like building the pyramids?
Hold on. So like, well, building pyramids affected people. Like, but I'm saying it's like, you can say, oh, we can have a hot dog eating contest, and America could say,
pause.
America, there are actual hot dog eating contests. So America can say, we could tomorrow we could say hot dog eating contest is the biggest. It's bigger than the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now everybody would like lock in, and they'd be like, "Oh, my legacy is I'm finna eat the." Let's check. Let me use a different analogy, bro. Let me use a different analogy. You get where I'm going with
I
this,
know what
right?
you're saying. Yeah.
And so I think what Tyson was saying is, at the end of the day gotta end. What does it matter at the end of the day?
I think the end of the day gotta end for how you lived your life, right? So I think if Mike Tyson had became a billionaire off of his name, he never been to prison, he didn't have some of the woes he's had, he didn't get robbed by Don King.
Right.
I don't know if his opinion is the same. I don't know if he feels like that. You know, I feel like if you get drive to a certain point, of course, it's easier to feel like at the end of the day got to end, right? I get that, right? Because I do believe in that also. I believe like you ain't taking none of this shit with you, including no fucking records.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if Mike Tyson need $20 million and it's going to go to him and his grandkids to live.
Right.
But I didn't know he was financially hard up for nothing right now. I didn't think he was.
I think people focus so much on, is he?
I didn't think he was, but I saw articles that was writing it like he did it for money because he was fucked up. I wish I could cite my sources and say what I read because they need to be called out because they actually put an article from when he was doing bad back in the day pasted it to now. I don't think Mike is in a fucked up spot right now.
There's no reason Mike wouldn't do that fight.
No, I'm not saying this.
If you Mike, give me one negative to Mike taking that fight.
Floyd Mayweather. Is Floyd Mayweather doing that? Is Floyd Mayweather willing to lose to Jake Paul for $20 million regardless of his financial situation?
1,000%.
Nah, he not doing that on his permanent record.
Floyd Mayweather loves money too much. They quote unquote label these fights as exhibitions. So this wouldn't.
No. But this one, that's what I'm saying. This one in particular went on their permanent record.
You know how did it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where the conversation I'm having about legacy. I'm like,
that's where then boxing as a whole need to be under like fire right now because you clearly, if you watch that fight, you clearly knew there was two guys that wasn't really fighting.
So ethically, the commission, the judges,
everybody should be under
is out of pocket.
Everybody out of pocket.
And Jake Paul picked them, and then the way that they wrote the rules was the incentives was for it to last as long as it could. So everybody that thought Mike was 60, it wasn't that. Mike couldn't beat him up.
They made that a real fight. Mike obviously didn't have the legs, and he also. And was the shit he was doing on the videos I was seeing doing he was training, was that AI or some shit?
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Because the videos I was seeing of him training looked like he was
listen what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is the incentive Jake Paul put in his contract in order to get the dub is that the fight has to last 8 rounds.
That's bullshit.
So now that I reflect on it when it was happening and Mike biting the gloves, Mike is biting the gloves to not physically attack. He can beat Jake Paul's ass. I really think Mike Tyson. So you think
Mike was biting the gloves to taper himself?
Yes. That was like a tick. Like, There was no explanation for that. Mike, if you look at when did Roy Jones fighting 4 years ago? Mike didn't go from what he was when he fought Roy to what he is now in 4 years.
So in your mind, you also got to remember, Mike, it had been a while. Mike hadn't had a good fight since he lost to Holyfield. Since he lost to Buster Douglas, he hadn't had a good fight after that.
But what I'm saying is...
Did Mike even win after that? I don't think Mike...
Yeah, he won a lot. He won against... when he got out of prison, all that shit. That was after.
I feel like Mike wasn't Mike. After Mike lost to Buster Douglas, everything went down.
But I'm saying Mike on his worst day will fuck Jake Paul up. And so what I'm saying is Jake Paul is not good at all. And so when I'm looking at this shit, I'm looking at when Jake had Mike fucked up, he didn't attack either.
Right, but 58 years old is 58 years old.
No,
we talk about grown man strength and shit. Everybody think they can. I got homeboys with sons right now whose sons is going taller and getting bigger that beat their ass.
Facts. But I'm saying with Jake, it wouldn't have been what we saw. Mike took the money, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But when it came down to his permanent record, Muhammad Ali would have never done that. Floyd Mayweather ain't doing that.
But Mike told you why he did it. He said
He don't care.
He talked about legacy.
Mike don't care.
Mike permanent record don't mean shit to him.
It don't mean shit to him, which I respect. So do what you do, get the money.
Shit. You niggas run the IG for inspiration, cause your immediate circle ain't good for shit but hating. How you hustling just to get complacent? We never settle, run these bitches then we pick replacements. About my money, niggas more concerned with getting famous and putting fake jewelry on layaway and missing payments. Hopping out of foreigns with a lot of miles, trying to fool these bitches think they don't know they body.